Sonic has been going through quite the revival recently. While the recent reveal of Sonic Frontiers didn't go over too well for Sega, on the movie side, Sonic has been doing numbers across the globe. 31 years after the release of the original Sonic the Hedgehog for the Sega Genesis, the Blue Blur is finding new fans all over again, which brings us to the release of this new Sonic Origins collection. Sonic Origins brings together Sonic 1 through 3, Sonic and Knuckles, and Sonic CD for the perfect retro introduction to the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. Sonic Origins isn't the first collection Sega has released for Sonic. There's been Sonic Jam on the Sega Saturn, Sonic Mega Collection, Sonic Ultimate Genesis Collection, and so on and so forth. Sonic Origins is supposed to be the new definitive way of playing these retro games on modern consoles, and Sega is so confident in their project that they've delisted the solo port releases of their games in favor of this collection. Each one of these games comes in two forms: the classic original Sega Genesis ROM running at 4:3 aspect ratios, with no new features, and the new Anniversary Editions. For people just wanting to experience how the games felt back in the 90s, this is one of the purest modern ways to experience the history of Sonic. However, I personally was more attracted to the anniversary modes for these games that were developed by Christian Whitehead, Headcanon, and Sega's in-house developers. These anniversary modes adopt a 16:9 widescreen aspect ratio, something that on paper doesn't seem like a big deal, but in practice was helpful. Especially with games like Sonic 3 that have the extra space to see ahead of you at those fast speeds, help make a flawless run all the more easy. Generally, there are a lot of quality of life improvements too. For example, you don't have lives in these games, instead you collect coins that can be used to restart the special stages where you have to collect the Chaos Emeralds, arguably one of the more challenging parts of the Sonic games. It makes sitting down to play these games for the first time a much more accessible experience, while still elevating it to some extent. There are even some new features too, like the drop dash move Sonic inherited in Sonic Mania. This allows Sonic to speed up his momentum as he falls, quickly letting out a spin dash when he hits the ground. I was absolutely in love with this new mechanic, finding new ways to increase my speed in the older titles that previously didn't have this mechanic. I genuinely hope we get to keep this in all future Sonic 2D games, as it feels so organic to the series. These new ports aren't without their own bugs though. These anniversary editions let you play as Tails or Knuckles in any of these games, and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. For example, I've had instances of Tails getting their sprites frozen mid-loop run in Sonic 2 and Sonic 3. According to Headcanon, their port of Sonic 3 wasn't used in the final version of this collection, and instead the in-house Sega port was used, both introducing different bugs that each others didn't have. Hopefully some sort of middle ground or patchwork can be done to iron these out, although luckily none of the bugs have been game-breaking, just visual bugs. Outside of the main games, you can tackle a boss rush mode that solely lets you play against the bosses for each of the games. Fun and new experiences for me that I found enjoyable. However, I think the most interesting new mode outside of the anniversary mode is the mission mode. Here you can tackle harder versions of levels, but even more fun is the ability to play all 4 games back to back as if it were a single game. I thought that was amazing considering the collection will be the way many players experience Sonic for the first time. Where the collection does start to fall flat a bit for me is in all the celebration aspects of Sonic. The new coins you collect in the games are used to unlock bonus content like songs, illustrations, and movies in the museum mode. It's nice, but it doesn't feel like a substantial reward when most of this stuff is already available online, including the Sonic Mania Adventure episodes on Sega's own YouTube channel for free. That doesn't even mention the terrible DLC execution for this game. $40 for 4 remastered Sega Genesis games I think is reasonable, but the DLC is nickel and diming players. You have to pre-order the game in order to get the extra backgrounds for the 4:3 aspect ratio, you need to pay a $4 DLC for the letterbox backgrounds, and the extra character animations in the main menu. And even the digital deluxe version doesn't have everything in it unless you pre-order that too. It's bad, plain and simple. Regardless if you think the asking price is fine or just $4 is just nothing to complain about, a 4 Genesis ROM collection shouldn't ever need to have a 5-part chart to explain what's in it or how to buy it. This is coming from someone that likes the collection, but for something that's supposed to be a celebration of fans of the games, it's so tone deaf. The older Sonic titles have always had a fun personality to them, especially when it came to their level designs and animation. I've always leaned more on liking the art direction for Sonic 1 and 2 more than 3 and CD, but loved the way they did the sprite animations in those later titles. While I think the art for the other games are more vibrant, colorful, and just felt distinct from one another, I think equally the character animations and the extra power of the Sega CD help give those animations in the later games more character and life. I love what Sega did with the main menu for the collection too. Just being able to see the wide representation of the island you explore in every game is oddly beautiful and really puts the entirety of those games into perspective. I just wish they didn't charge you extra DLC for the character animations in these menus. I feel like something so simple like that goes a long way for fans, and yet it's behind a paywall. When actually in the middle of playing, the widescreen aspect ratio looks absolutely stunning whether I was playing on my OLED TV or on my Switch OLED display. Especially in the 4:3 aspect ratio, the black border looks great on OLED. Something I wish was available in the Switch Online version of Sonic 2 that unfortunately is plagued with the frame around it. The Sonic series has always had a knack for great music, and that pretty much started off with these games. From Green Hill Zone and Chemical Plant Zone to Mushroom Hill, these tracks have become iconic in their own right. But a commonly well-known secret with the series is that Michael Jackson worked on some of the tracks in Sonic 3, but was never credited for it. It's also believed that's partially why this game never got remastered, since the rights to the music would be hard to renew. It's with that said that Sonic 3 doesn't feature its original music. Instead, it features tracks from the prototype of Sonic 3 before Jackson was involved, only now re-recorded. The thing is, the prototype tracks were leaked years ago, and these re-recordings of them, while in good faith, just don't sound as good as those original leaks. It's honestly a bit odd to say that the music in Sonic regresses a bit with this re-release, at least when it comes to Sonic 3, which was honestly the game I think most were looking forward to playing in this collection. Sonic Origins is a lovely collection and way of revisiting or experiencing the original Sonic games for the first time. You get the original games in their true classic form, excluding the music in Sonic 3, but also newly updated versions that shine on modern platforms. There's the occasional visual bug, and the DLC execution is hilariously bad, but if you want to play these classic games again, which I think is the core reason this collection exists in the first place, it does a good enough job at providing that experience and elevating it in other aspects with the Anniversary Edition.